Hey guys, this is T Gray. Thanks for joining me again. This is actually totally impromptu. I was at the season opener of the Nats game today, and I took throngs of pictures. I'm talking pictures on pictures on pictures. So like racks on racks on racks, except I don't got racks on racks on racks. But the point is, I was going through my pictures, and it actually reminded me of the reason that I started this YouTube channel. And that's because I never thought I'd have this quality of life again. That's the thing about Crohn's. It robs you of your independence, your spontaneity, and your sense of just general well-being. And so today, well, it's a blessing to wake up. Let me be clear. But to be able to go to a sporting event and not worry about where the nearest restroom is, or what food they may have, or if I can eat it, or what if pain starts. I don't have any of that to worry about now. And so I just wanted to share with you, off the cuff, I think the top 5 things that made Crohn's the best, worst thing that ever happened to me. First and foremost, it sidelined me. A scripture that comes to mind is, "Be still and know that I am God." But even if you aren't religious, even if you don't subscribe to any particular denomination, sect, anything, just that phrase, "be still," in the secular world, that has tremendous import. Be still. That was something I didn't know how to do. I was all over the place. I was here, I was there, I was starting this project, I was starting this book, I was in this city, I wanted to do this sport, and I was always on the go, and I was pretty good at it. But I had some demons that I desperately needed to confront, and I chose not to. Why? Because I was busy. Well, when Crohn's came along, yeah, busy wasn't an option. When you can't wash your ass, you can't be busy. I couldn't even shower without having to take a nap. So first and foremost, Crohn's sidelined me. I had to lay still, most of the time in the fetal position. The pain was just awesome. There's no other word to describe it. It was awesome. And so in being still, I had months that when aggregated, they actually total more than a year, a solid year, to lay on my couch and reflect about who I was, what was important to me, what motivated me, how I treated those people I cared about or I loved, and really what I mean is how I used them. Because until I got sick, I didn't realize that the way I moved, more often than not all the time, but probably 55-60% of the time, I was available to people when I recognized they had immediate utility for me. But if there was no immediate utility, I'll get to you when I get to you. I had a lot of time to reflect on that. That's not how I intended to treat the people closest to me. That's not how I wanted to treat the people closest to me. That's not how you're supposed to treat the people closest to you. So the very first reason that I'm thankful for Crohn's is because it sidelined me and it forced me to scrutinize every area of my life. One of my favorite academicians and erudites is Cornel West. I have been a fan of Cornel West for decades. He said, "The unscrutinized life is not worth living." That resonated with me from the very first time that I heard it, and I live by it every day now, even more so post-Crohn's. So when I was on that couch, I spent that time scrutinizing my life. I figured out that I was loving people the way I wanted to be loved, not the way that they wanted or desired to be loved. I figured out that I was far more self-centered, self-absorbed, and narcissistic than I realized. Let me not forget arrogant and egotistical. That's not easy to admit. That's not easy to admit. Judge me if you will. I make concession for that. Growth is a process. I'm a work in progress. I'm good with that. The second reason that I'm thankful for Crohn's, I've always been very health conscious. I've always led a very healthy lifestyle. I'm talking supplements, vitamin B, vitamin D, effervescent vitamin C, nanogreens, which have probiotics and the antioxidant equivalent of 10 servings and fruits and vegetables a day. Long before there was ever a hint of digestive issues, I was living that lifestyle. Well, I thought I was invincible. I didn't drink excessively. I didn't smoke at all. I didn't do sugar. I didn't do any of the indulgent stuff, especially not in excess. I did it periodically, but not in excess. I thought that made me immune to disease or health issues. I was wrong. And it also provided the opportunity for me to learn about some genetic predispositions in my family. I'm not the first person with Crohn's in my family, but I'm the first person that received a known diagnosis. It's purely speculation, but given my symptoms, I'm pretty sure my maternal grandfather, had Crohn's too. He was from the very first time I can remember, as small as I was, he was always distended. Every Sunday when we saw him, because we visited our grandparents religiously, every Sunday he literally was rubbing his stomach throughout our visit. And we'd be there for hours. He was distended. His stomach ached. It was a radiating pain. Grease caused him more significant pain. Sugar caused him pain. And so, again, even though he never got a formal diagnosis based on the symptoms, I'm pretty sure my grandfather had some form of IBD or IBS. So it clearly runs in the family. I mean, my mother has a host of digestive issues, GERD, acid reflux, call it what you will, amongst others. And so there's a genetic predisposition for that. I thought that maintaining a clean diet, a healthy lifestyle, and all of the above would exempt me from getting sick. Lies and garbage. Genetics will carry the day when whatever catalyst is required to trigger that gene that will allow the onset of that disease. And that's what happened. I suspect it was probably around law school, because that stress I wasn't prepared for, given that I have a variety of anxiety. And so with the Crohn's diagnosis, I was able to take a step back and realize that even some of the healthy stuff that I was doing for myself, like taking supplements, the capsules, the gelatin capsules of the supplements that I was taking before I was diagnosed with Crohn's, even those were aggravating my symptoms because they were made from rice. Rice is a grain. Until your GI tract is healed, you really should, let me keep this personal. Until my GI tract was healed, I needed to steer clear of all grains. And that meant that I had to stop taking some of the supplements I take, actually all of them I take, and start anew. There'll be another video about supplements. There'll be a number of videos about supplements, so I won't go any further into detail with respect to supplements, but I just wanted you to understand that even given my advanced awareness of my health and how to maintain it, I still became deathly ill. And that gave me the opportunity to learn even more with greater depth. This might be the biggest So they're 5 and it's number 3. So order does not imply importance or significance. Gratitude is an attitude. I did not realize that I took for granted something that is a gift in every respect. That's health. I would find myself bored. I would go shopping and have clothes with tags, and I didn't want to go anywhere. And I'd complain to God, like, what next? Like, what next? Like, I've done this, what next? Well, what came next was vomiting in my trash can at work within 25 to 45 minutes of eating a meal, going to the facilities director, discreetly asking for disposal of biological waste, and then going back to work. I realized that losing weight at about 10 to 15 pounds a month, that's not normal. I realized that when I should be experiencing hunger pains, those were replaced by dull, radiating abdominal aches every day. Once I'd been sidelined for the better part of a year, I realized that the things I focused on and placed value on were literally the least important things in my life. And the irony is, I was still buying material goods, still buying shoes, clothes when I was sick, because I was planning to be healthy again. And I needed to make sure that I picked up where I left off, not realizing that I wasn't focused on the most important thing, my health. Because where the hell am I going if I can't even step outside my door for 15 minutes for fear of either debilitating abdominal pain or needing to relieve myself in one way or the other? So I have Crohn's to thank for gratitude. I mean sincere gratitude. I am genuinely thankful to wake up in the morning, pain-free, roll over, hit the floor, and get it. You'll understand as we go through my story. That is not the life I was living when I was sort of in the longest night of my life, which was my one and only extended Crohn's episode. So, gratitude. Living a life of genuine gratitude. I owe that to the Crohn's diagnosis. Something else. Adversity in general. I am very strong. I am very determined. And once I am focused, consider it done. If it can be done, once you're in the crosshairs, as my father says, consider it done. Well, the caveat, however, is if that particular thing inspires fear or discomfort, or I'm out of my comfort zone or my bailiwick. I'm from the country. I like those words. When I recovered from Crohn's, I promise you, I felt like Superwoman, because things that would have me flapped under normal circumstances, bring it on. What you got? Nothing. I wasn't stunting anything. I wasn't concerned about anything. Why? Because every single time I was confronted with a situation that seemed overwhelming, insurmounting, paralyzing, all I have to do is remind myself, baby girl, you almost starved to death for 3 years. You serious? You tripping off of this? Immediately, I'm back on track. Let's get it. I think the last thing, and this is the big one, Um, fear in general. Fear in general. I'm a country girl. I come from a small town where everyone knows everyone, where everyone at least pretends to like everyone for the most part, even if they don't, because harmony and community, or a sense of community and camaraderie, that's what I'm accustomed to. So the city is a very different beast. And I came to the city alone. And I've lived in the city alone, meaning I don't have a huge family network here. And so fear on myriad fronts was something that I had to combat. Post Crohn's, I still encounter fear, but I'm able to talk myself through it, to work through it, to think myself through it. No matter what technique I employ, these days I'm able to get through it. And the reason I'm able to get through it, and notice I said through, not around, not over, not under, not on the side. No, fear, those demons you need to stare down. To overcome them, you need to stare them down. So these days, because I can say to myself, you starve to death and you bounce back like a soldier. What can stop me? I am scared, but I'm going to do it anyway, because it can't cause nearly the amount of pain that Crohn's caused. This is totally off the cuff, totally impromptu, and it's all the result of me thumbing through my pictures from today at the Nationals game and realizing, yo, I got my life back. I got my life back. I'm rocking this jersey. I had fries. I had cotton candy. I had cranberry and vodka. I had whatever I wanted to today. And why? Why am I able to do that? Because for 2 years, I stuck to a strict diet. I used supplements that were geared towards healing, not symptom suppression. And I am in a superior state of physical health. That's why I'm on YouTube. I'm not promising that you will have the success I have, but I will say this. Whether you have already lost portions of your anatomy, whether you have been in a multi-year flare-up that seems to be robbing you of the quality of life that you desire, or whether you're just in the early stages of Crohn's, whatever the case may be, I want to share my story because there has to be a takeaway. Something that you're able to take away from it that will enhance the quality of your life. I'm not trying to give you my life, but I'm trying to share a story in hopes that you can glean things from my life that may make yours better in terms of quality of life. I want to see you living your best life. And so for that reason, I just felt compelled to share that Crohn's, as shitty as it is, pardon the pun, Crohn's actually made me a better woman. That's why I'm here. And hopefully, what I have to share can give you a better life. So, before I sign off, as always, please, please, please subscribe. Thank you for joining me for another segment of Good Genes, Bad Guts. And until next time, hold on. Keep pushing. I know you got this. We'll talk.